All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for HunterxHunter, episode 126. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Lots of crazy things are going down here.
Yes. Just a bit.
A lot of plot lines are kind of in the middle of things going on.
Yep.
Lots of things going on with Shia LaBeouf,
Meruem and Netero.
Meruem and Netero.
Other Shia LaBeouf.
Yep. Killua in transit,
gone,
Palm
shaving off
somewhere.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Palm doing whatever she's doing.
Gone, and Neferpito could be on the move soon. Like it's about to be like crazy.
Yeah.
And also like in terms of where a lot of the characters that are like kind of important chimera ants are and stuff, they've all been going through very dramatic kind
metamorphoses.
of metamorphoses. Like changes. I mean, not only due to the evolution by
of them being chimera ants, but
being
but
chimera
also
ants,
just them as people,
as characters. So lots of cool, exciting little mini twists going on here. Even really along the lines of Welfin and Nicalgo. It's getting crazy, guys. So.
I do hope Shia LaBeouf tries to create his own army. I want to see him fully unhinged and just go nuts. That would be so fun to see.
Legit. All right, guys, we're ready. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, we're going to start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Yes.
But for whom? For whom is this tomb?
No.
I love how they're having Netero have the, super deep, what you would expect to be for a villain type voice.
Right.
Even though it can also be for, his character type and stuff.
Yeah, he is
he does not sound nice right now.
Well, no, he's trying to kill.
Yeah. And I am very thankful that he is trying to kill.
Yeah, so
that's right.
We had the little heart.
Goes from a spade to a heart. He's actually related to Hisoka, and his abilities are all based around card suits. He went from this. That's a spade if I ever saw one.
Or
this.
Or he was about to go to Illuminati confirmed. Now
how would he make a club sign?
What you have to do is
he'd do like this.
Oh yeah, that's basically what I was trying to.
Is it a club? Is it a broccoli? Who knows?
Right. Yeah, I can't do it.
And then the diamond is... Well, actually, the diamond would just be like...
Yeah. Just try again. Nagi no nakete. You just go away.
I just realized of all the people on the attack squad, almost all of them have some sort of Nen creation that they use, right?
Yes.
With Nav, it's the portals. With Morel, it's the not clones, but the dummies and all that.
Right.
And then Shoot has the hands and everything, and then Knuckle has APR, and Netero has his Yeah,
I think what it is that they all tend towards the top of the Hatsu hexagon.
Sure.
Emission, and whoa, okay, we're fighting. Here we go. These
They're really
rapid
cutting
cuts.
back to the same area.
Ooh.
Netero's using his full-on all 8 or 12 fly swatters here.
So, wow.
And I like that Netero jumped away after he got him in that, because he's going to break out at some point, Don't want to be right next to him when it happens.
Whoa! This is insane! Oh, he's actually going in?
Why? Couldn't he just sort of do that forever?
Whoa!
Which was...
Oh my god. Whoa. Whoa.
Okay,
wow.
Cool.
Oh
I like how they have Zeno in there, too.
This is amazing. It's like he's seeing the peaks of humanity's strength.
Uh-huh, right. Doesn't think them so small and weak now.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, yeah. He can't do it without praying, basically.
Gotcha.
And he brings it back so quickly.
Uh-huh.
Whoa. Yes, and we know
kind
of that.
Of.
Yes.
Yeah. One step short of crazy. What do you get?
Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez. This is so epic because not only do we know, like, what these two mean for the story and the worlds that they represent,
right.
but it's so regal. Like,
absolutely.
There's this aspect of Netero just being
Yep.
basically an avatar of a god, basically.
And the music to go with it. Right.
Oh, man.
So keep doing it over and over again.
Bravo. Wow. Oh. All right. Oh, that was close.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is just it. This is the endurance match. He's going to outpace you eventually.
Get
yes.
Hit it till it dies.
That's true.
Next to no damage is not the same thing as no damage, though.
But
there's such a thing as death by 1,000 cuts, but yeah. Okay.
And eventually you'll find his limit of where he can protect himself.
Gotcha.
He's playing Gungi. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
This is a 2-on-2 match.
But this is literally what he did with Komugi, was she kept revealing new strategies and techniques based on how he would attack. Yeah, that's true.
Uh-huh.
Is he muttering something? Oh my god, this is the genius of the king right here.
Okay.
Whoa. Whoa! It's visual to showcase what he's thinking.
Yeah.
But I have time. Oh. Oh my god.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, how many times do you think Netero has actually had an excuse to use this?
It's also Netero's perception. He has to make sure... Oh, to unleash the next hand.
Ah, gotcha.
So is he building up to something?
I'm not sure.
I think he's fulfilling conditions actually as he's doing this.
That is a definite possibility.
But that's cool. He's the only one playing the game then, which means he can win.
Oh.
Ah, yes. Oh.
Well, that's kind of what he wants you to do.
Oh, that's so good. I still feel like they're holding back just a little bit on the animation just so they can save for a big moment coming. Like
right.
Okay.
Bad by
no, this is amazing. Yes. Okay. Yep.
That's just ridiculous.
That's the view of us mortals, basically. Oh, wait. Is he hitting him in specific spots? Oh! Whoa!
No way.
Holy crap!
Wait.
It's gone!
That just happened.
Whoa! Oh.
Okay, I'm surprised that they didn't even show the action of that happening. It was just suddenly the leg goes flying.
What's wrong?
"'Tis but a scratch."
Whoa! Whoa! Oh my god, here we go!
I've had worse.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Soon enough, you're gonna lose something else, yeah.
It prioritized the motion of his hands.
I can practically predict the future.
Wow.
Right.
That was a Jotaro point. Like, this is over. Oh my gosh.
Of course not.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Oh, is this something where, like, okay, if a condition of, if I don't do this, I'll die, but what if there was a condition of, I will die?
Oh, possibly.
Like,
oh my god. Wow, that's a beautiful visual to showcase what's going on. Holy crap.
this is how you use 3D, by the way.
Yeah. Well, there it is. There it is. He can't pray anymore. Jeez. Oh, and he just reclines back into that position like gone and
nice.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Is he gonna create an arm with Nen? Oh.
Was this the condition, basically?
I don't think so.
This looks different.
Yeah. Omaya wa mu shinderu. With an indiscriminate love? What? What? So it's just a seal, like an immobilization technique.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
murderous intent.
Uh-huh.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh. Oh my god!
Oh, and he gives him the finger as a part of it. Can Meruem survive something like that?
Can Netero? Like, that was all of his
That might
aura.
not have been the plan.
No, I know. But seriously, like...
Okay. All right.
Oh my god.
So who died from that? Was it one of them or both of them?
I mean, Ned is fantastic, but if Netero's not dead yet, he's going to be.
Well, if Meruem's not dead yet, then, well...
Whoa, look at how gaunt he is now.
Oh, yeah.
So he was basically propping up his body with Nen to be... Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, he's resolved to die. So he's not going to even tell him the name. I mean, he might, but...
Yeah, and his leg's bleeding again. And yeah, oh, man.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They're going to hear the sound of the footsteps.
Now,
right?
was that just an effect to, like, not show his eyes? Or... Oh, yeah.
Yep, here we go.
Sorry, the plot demands that... Now, is he just unharmed, or...
No, he is harmed.
But not much. I mean... Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, his eyes are black.
Of perfect evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, from the opening. Oh my god, that's amazing. Yeah, you mean nothing to the species of humanity. I am my species, basically. Wow. Oh my god. Wow.
With
All
its
this
individuality.
all this imagery. Whoa.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool. Then how do you evolve further?
Whoa.
Within a special zone. Yeah,
Jeez. He's basically giving him the terms.
Right.
He's like trying to basically give him a respectful, like,
Uh-huh.
you lost, but you have moved me. I'll only kill 35% of you.
Right.
Give me my name.
And if he doesn't, then tail
Yeah, he's dead.
whack.
Yeah.
Meruem, or Netero changes it to something else. Oh yeah, I'm already dead. Wait.
Whoa. 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 Was this all a trap? Oh. Oh, that
Netero's tapping into the
human
monstrous
race.
side.
Oh, he gave him his name?
Yeah, yeah. That's my respectful thing to you before you die.
Before you die. Oh my gosh. For this... This is dark. What is this?
Oh yeah.
Is this like the vengeance of the human race? The spite, the hatred?
Yeah.
Oh! That's so haunting! Oh!
You know, something comes to mind. Melody in the arc talked about the devil, basically.
Yes.
A tune of the devil.
Yeah. I think he's tapping into whatever that is.
Yeah.
Oh. I think Meruem should run.
Yeah.
Something tells me... Oh!
Yep, there we go.
Oh!
There we go. Wait.
Oh,
Wait. Did they put like
they
a
put
nuke
something inside
him or
him.
something?
Yep. Oh my god.
No way.
They've probably been studying the other Chimera ants for something. They'll be like an anti-Chimera ant weapon.
Or just a nuke. Like... He's like... And suddenly the matter of his body turns to energy.
Oh! That was an implosion! That was an implosion! Oh my god! Oh! No way.
Yep. That looked a lot like a mushroom cloud. Wait.
Oh.
Okay.
What the heck?
But that looks a lot like a nuclear blast. Like,
I think it's more sinister than that.
It might be something completely different, but like at very least, the
gosh,
inspiration
guys,
is definitely there.
We were talking about nukes like forever ago, and let's be real. If you're going to go all the way and be in an extermination squad, you cannot fail. You cannot fail.
Oh yeah. Because you're escalating at that point so that if you lose, they will probably exterminate you.
Yeah. And they didn't send anyone else because there would be no value in sending anyone else. So they needed to succeed. But the thing is that...
All right.
Like, if Meruem is dead... Shia LaBeouf is going to go crazy. He's going to take the army that they have.
Yeah.
And it will be like all-out war,
all kinds of crazy stuff will happen out. Now, the thing is that they said it proved surprisingly lethal. That could be talking about Meruem, or that could be talking about the bomb in general.
Oh, I think he was talking indifferent and impersonal of Meruem,
right.
But saying that Meruem is either dead or dying.
Yeah, he's not in a good way right now.
Oh, he's not in a good way, because he was not in a good way from the zero hand.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
I am so happy. Here's why.
Wow.
On this extermination mission, a lot of the people that they sent, my biggest problem with them is these aren't exterminators. Why are they sending these people? The reason is because they didn't need to be.
Yeah.
They had the one person who very much was an exterminator. And can I just say, like, if this was like a tabletop RPG or anything like that, which, you know,
Let's be real.
Let's be real. It basically is.
It basically is, yeah.
This is exactly the kind of thing you do.
Yep.
You develop all the crazy moves and all that stuff. You make sure you're level 20 and all that jazz or beyond, you know. But then you also make sure that if all else fails, because it could,
Yep.
you have something that just anything, like it doesn't have a damage number.
Yeah,
It just, everything's dead.
If you have your target within a 100-meter radius of
It
you,
dies.
they
Like,
die. They
yeah,
die.
They're gone. You
They
know,
take
turn to dust
infinity
and-
D10 damage.
Yeah.
They take D10 damage until they die. Like,
Right, exactly. And then some.
Yeah, I think that the one thing though that they could do with this that would make it even more impactful is that Meruem doesn't die here.
Sure.
The thing that's really important is for the other Chimera ants to see the king die.
Yes,
Now-
that is very
now,
true. Because
they
otherwise,
don't
why would
need
they
to.
believe it?
They don't need to.
Yeah.
But all they really have to have is also see, like Yuppie, for instance. He sees the explosion,
Right, and Shia LaBeouf too, because he's there too.
Yeah,
so,
and maybe he's like, okay, I'm gonna go, look into
Right.
that, and Shia LaBeouf does as well.
Yeah.
And then Yuppie goes there and he sees the
Nothing.
king. Well,
Yeah.
I would think actually,
Uh-huh.
that the king would be
Still have remains.
physically there.
Because okay, that's a good
Because
point.
this guy is insanely durable.
Yeah.
Insanely strong.
As ragged as he looked after the zero hand thing, those were just scratches.
Those were basically
they were cuts and bruises,
surface wounds.
Yeah, exactly.
And it looked like it took a physical toll, like strength-wise, on him.
Yeah.
Like maybe he wasn't able to put up a big enough 10 barrier or Gyo, whatever.
Yeah.
Later, but I think that in some ways, Netero needed to do that before he activated this poor
Right.
man's rose.
Yeah.
Dirty bomb thing.
Uh-huh.
And that's actually the thing I'm more terrified about.
If it's a dirty bomb, he could emerge from it and still be dead.
And still be dead.
Like, yeah.
So here's what's crazy. This whole episode was basically just the fight. It reminds me a lot of the Uvugin Kurapika fight.
Yep.
But it's important because they were talking and using a lot of imagery about how they have purpose behind each of them. And Meruem recognized Netero's purpose and his dedication to that purpose, and thereby respected it.
Yeah.
Netero showed him no such regard. There's a very clear thing where Meruem is the one that is, in some ways, the focal character of this whole encounter here.
And they bent over backwards to make sure it was clear that he seemed monstrous at this point.
Yes, Netero went full just abandon my humanity.
Right. Like if this was Star Wars, he went full like dark side Sith sorcery.
Oh yeah, he tapped into the
like what now the thing is,
he killed himself
in
order to activate a dirty bomb on his target,
whatever that thing is.
I'm going to throw out there that one of the things that's the most terrifying thing about this bomb is I don't think it's actually nuclear specifically. I think that it might be splitting some atoms. There's some, there's some fission going on in there.
Yeah.
But I think there's Nen involved with the bomb.
Sure. And if it's something like specifically to target Chimera ants and just and suddenly
Basically,
Yuppie, I don't feel so good.
What I'm most terrified of, is, let's say the bomb is like going to not only, kill Meruem, regardless of whether or not he's dead already or whatever, but it's actually going to destroy and taint the land in like 100-mile radius.
Possibly.
So, here's my thought. The whole fight's going to have gone down, and there's going to be no one knowing what happened.
Right.
No one knowing what happened. We're just going to be like, there's an explosion in the distance, who knows what happened, but what's going to happen is all that blood rose, poor man's rose, whatever particles are going to go out, and I have a very real feeling that the Chimera ants are going to be like in threat of like fallout.
Possibly. They could also avoid that if they wanted to because they traveled so far away.
Because they traveled so far away, I think that is actually where Netero was already planning that in his head.
And maybe
he went to a WMD testing area.
Exactly.
Specifically for that. And maybe he also put him underground so that the explosion's epicenter would be contained, at least in the initial blast. It, of course, would blow up everything out there and stuff and create a massive crater. But Meruem would not be able to quickly get away because of the fact that he would be in a tomb.
Well, and the biggest thing, like, okay, they've drawn the analogy to nukes and all that stuff with this. We know it's not technically a nuke, it's something different. Right. But if they, depending on how far they took the whole nuke analogy, metaphor, symbolism, and all that stuff, with nukes, with Fallout and stuff, one of the big things that one of the big reasons they do them underground or underwater or things like that. Well, okay, hopefully not underwater a lot. But the main reason for that is actually for the fallout.
Right. The reason why they have it below sea level, basically, as much as possible, is because when nukes were dropped in Japan, they were ignited, they were exploded above ground.
Right, because they wanted maximum casualties.
So they wanted maximum,
And that wasn't for the explosion. That was so that the wind could carry the fallout
as far as possible.
Yeah.
And that was where way more people ended up not only dying, but getting affected permanently. And generations permanently
just
scarred by devastation. So this is something that I've been basically feeling like they've been hinting us at is basically the dark side of humanity. And this is an anime. Anime is generally made in Japan. That's why it's called anime.
So the whole
influence of Hiroshima and Nagasaki cannot be understated whenever you bring up weapons of mass destruction,
and especially when you're the country that they were used on.
This is an instance where I think they're drawing the connection that the Chimera ants had potential for peace with humans, basically. That Meruem basically...
Potential, yes. No, not with Meruem.
It would have been servitude and subjectivity.
And at the very least, they certainly had potential for peace with other Chimera ants.
Yes.
Not necessarily with Meruem, because that's who,
Well, I'm with you on that, but what if this hadn't happened? Netero dies, and Meruem basically starts to establish his power base and stuff, and a year goes by, and I would say it would probably take a little bit of time before he would be a worldwide threat. He would probably be a continental threat pretty quickly. And then the nations would rally against them and stuff, and Meruem would shut them down systematically and keep going. But what I think would happen is eventually we would have some kind of a peace summit with Chimera ants that have joined up with humanity, like Colt. Representing humanity and basically saying, I beg of you, give them mercy. There are a lot of good people out there. And Meruem would remember his fight with Netero and go, you know what? You're right. There is potential for humanity. We're not going to allow you to rule this world. But I think if Meruem survives here, I just worry about if there's that weird slim chance that he survives, it taints his opinion of humanity. Because if he survives...
Well, does it? Would it?
I don't know.
It was all part of just the attack.
That's the thing. I don't know.
When you are doing, barbaric things like war, saying that a particular kind of war or kind of method of waging war,
a method of engagement,
a weapon that you're using or whatever,
inhumane.
is inhumane or barbaric. That only really holds water in my mind when it starts hitting civilians.
Really?
But as long as it's
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I think we can come up with some instances where it's most of the time it's like that.
Sure. Yeah. If you're talking,
you don't want to talk about chemical weapons, Jacob. Chemical weapons used on military stuff. Regardless of who's involved in what. go look up some stuff with World War One. I know you know about World War One and stuff.
Yeah. But like, well, yeah, but it's bad. But you're still killing people. Like
I know it's already inhumane.
It's already inhumane. So if you're going to do it in whatever is the most effective way possible.
Yes,
basically.
I'm not debating that there's humanity to killing people in war. What I'm saying is that, like, it's a bit twisted. Yes, I know, but there are reasons why certain types of weapons should never be used under any circumstances. It's like nukes, basically.
Well, right, but the main reason that people and let's leave this after this and go back to talking about the episode. But the main reason that people have issues with that is not because of the total devastation that they cause. I would think, as far as I know, but what it usually seems to be is that you can't just hit the people actually fighting the wars with those.
It's indiscriminate.
It's indiscriminate. Yeah, it ends up hitting civilians and everybody. Everyone gets caught up in it, and that's why those people don't use those. But in this case, I don't see how, at least with Meruem, he would see what Netero did as a bad thing, because it's still Netero just doing what he was always trying to do, except this time it was effective.
Okay. Okay.
Like
I'm with you. I feel like this is not the last bomb we're going to see, though.
Sure. Yeah.
Basically, if they use this and it's cheap and compact, it's almost like Togashi is kind of laughing at is laughing in a cool way, actually, about how humans, when faced with extinction,
every alternative
is preferable. Wanton slaughter, indiscriminate killing.
Sure, yeah.
I'm very much worried about what are the technical civilians involved in this whole conflict. Now, there's like 13 people at the the overall palace. Or whatever.
There's all the people hypnotized out in front.
Yes, exactly.
But, yeah.
And I think that if Meruem survives, if he survives, they would gladly drop 50 of those bombs all over, kill all 5 million of those people.
Yep.
Without a second thought.
And there's a decent argument to say that they should, if that were to happen, because 5 million versus 5 billion, like it's a tough thing to but
see, this is some good conversation stuff, because I think we're almost at that stage where, like, if they don't do that, Togashi is pointing us in a red herring direction, because what Netero did here is totally, I would say, on the list of stuff that makes sense for him to fulfill the role of the extermination squad.
And before we get into that, there's another cool thing that this does too. By him killing himself, he solves the issue of basically the Hunter Association being blamed for like whatever crap happens there, because now they can all pin it on the one crazy suicidal person that went and blew everything up.
That's a pretty good point. I think that we obviously know that anyone with half a brain knows that the Hunter Association was commissioned essentially to do this.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like there are clear borderlines in any of the world's perception of this with regards to, well, what the Hunter Association does is completely their thing. I mean, they totally have these kinds of weapons in their stockpile. I mean, yeah.
The fact that they got these, I mean,
I think that this would be fine for the Hunter Association, but
if there was the 50 more that
yes. Basically, I'm looking at this bomb and I'm like, okay, now I'm taking every WMD in my brain that I know about, and I'm like, which one would actually be the most effective at killing chimera ants? I'm like, yep, nukes seem pretty good. There's a lot of other ones out there.
Biological
we get into the biological stuff.
Yeah, because then they probably could target specifically chimera ants.
Where they might think that it 100% will target chimera ants, and there's an acceptable amount of splash damage potential, 15%.
Sure, that's it.
Not all humans are going to get targeted.
That's a good point, because if
acceptable losses, collateral damage.
Yeah. But if you have something that targets the chimera ants, right? Due to phagogenesis,
chimera
they've got a lot of human DNA in there too. So they would have to be very specific with what basically
what their target
genes,
marker, or
what their target gene marker thing is in the Chimera ants,
and
make sure that they don't get it wrong.
Understand. We're talking about a fantasy world, so we don't know anything about real
Right. But we know they basically have
anything.
nukes, right? So they should theoretically have chemical weapons, even if they had to use Nen to make them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, that's one of those things of like the limitations of Nen, where it's like
There are no limitations of Nen.
Well, right, but like, could Netero have just had like a Nen technique that he developed that converted his body's matter into energy, thereby achieving about the same result? Possibly, like that. But that would seem a bit broken for Nen, even though the thing that it's actually doing.
Yeah, I would,
isn't that crazy.
I would think that this specific bomb in of itself probably is a 3-in-1. Like, it gets all the job done, and it's cheap, and it's probably messy, and not a not a kind of weapon that is used. Like they said it's dictatorial governments are a fan of this weapon, and this is a weapon that is not new. This is not a weapon that's like. Developed specifically for the Chimera ants.
Yeah, I like things like gunpowder and dynamite and gasoline.
So
and
what I'm more worried about here is that them talking about how the weapon is cheap.
Yeah.
Is basically them saying,
very specific.
Let's cut our losses. We don't want to spend hundreds of millions of dollars killing the Chimera ants. Let's spend a few million.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get a couple bombs. We'll get everything pretty good. I'm basically just looking at this as being the first sign.
Right, the precedent.
That humanity is willing to do whatever it takes. And under this specific set of circumstances, it's okay because it's one-on-one. They're both representatives of, their respective races. In some ways, the king is more than Netero is. Netero represents the organization, so it's a good point to bring up the connections there. But, and this is a big but, if Meruem survives, then someone, and I'm guessing Netero has other people on this. Someone is probably going to make the call and go, yeah, this East Gorto nation, or is it West Gorto? Or
I think it's East, but I don't know.
Yeah. Just destroy it.
And here's the other thing. So
there's other people there, hunters and stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, they knew what they were getting into.
Yep. This was a suicide mission, and we thanked them for their sacrifice. Well, and they mentioned that they didn't want to use like radio communicators because the Chimera ants could tap into that, right?
Sure.
Well, it wouldn't be that hard for a satellite to see what just happened.
Yeah, I think this world probably has satellites.
Yeah.
I mean, if they have nukes, then they have satellites.
They've got satellites.
I mean, well,
like, they don't have to.
They have internet too.
Yeah.
So they've got satellites.
Yeah. So they could just have a satellite that's just watching this place, and it's like, oh, okay, Netero's dead. All right, so
now we wait. Now we wait to see if
now we see if there's any living thing coming from there.
I think they're actually watching the army.
Sure.
Because if the army moves, then they know that they failed.
Sure. Yeah. If the army, sure. Yeah. But there's ways that they could
There's ways that
they could know. Yeah. And then and now they're basically alerted and just waiting with their finger over the button, and then.
Yeah. So, Netero basically came in here resigned to die.
Yep.
As long as he completed his mission, he got the king separated from the group and everyone, and he would do this. So I like that Netero wasn't downplayed by Meruem's just insanely overpowered just aspect of being a demigod of Nen and strength and Chimera and evolution.
And I love how they did this because HunterxHunter likes to pull the rug out, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, they do.
So the entire fight, I'm expecting, okay, how are they going to pull the rug out, right?
Right.
But they had it go stereotypical, right? Oh, he has some new technique. Oh, it's awesome. And he does it. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this is how Netero beats him. Oh, but it doesn't work. It's like, oh, really? We've never seen this before. Wow, okay. Oh, he's just too strong. It's cool, but, it's like we've seen this plenty of times. But then it's like, yeah, no, you think I just had one backup? Yeah, no, I've gone over this fight so many times in my head. I've got this all planned out.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, I want to give a little shout out in the imagery side of things for choosing to have the gungi boards, the needles,
Oh,
the
galaxies.
lotuses, like the little flowers and stuff.
Yep.
Basically showcasing that while this has, world-shattering implications, this whole encounter here.
Right.
It's something that we keep kind of coming back to, and that the king believes in his greater purpose. He believes in what he represents for not only his species, but eventually for this entire world. And in some ways, him hearing his name probably confirms a lot of that. So I think if he knows his name now, this would be the ultimate subversion, is to have him actually die right here. Like, never, he never comes back into the story. He's dead, and he just figured out his name. He just knew his name, and it's over.
Yep.
The thing is, though,
they could juice it for more than that.
If they wanted to juice this up, way more, you need to have Komugi and him reunite. Like, this is the kind of stuff where they're both broken and beaten, in some ways, by bombs from humans. Same kind of thing. Sorry. This is sad. But the thing is that if Meruem is going to die, I think the story almost demands that he die, because I can't see humanity surviving if he gets the chance to regenerate.
Exactly, especially with what he said here. The fact that he's like, you've earned my respect and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'll section off humanity.
I'll put humanity in a special zone.
Right, exactly. And I'll make sure that we reevaluate how much we hunt and the quality of people that we use to feed on.
Oof.
He did not say that would go away. He said, we'll reevaluate,
Yeah, I think he was basically just saying, we might go from 100% lethality of, extermination of humans to 65%,
and they were probably just worried about, like, the people that can, actually use Nen and stuff anyways. But, so they might have been like, we'll make sure that the other ones aren't harmed. We'll, just the things that we're eating, touch take. Like, no scraps.
I really wonder, like, in his head, this is why I think he also has to live, at least for a little bit. Yeah. Is that Meruem's purpose, if Meruem's purpose is to sit atop of the world, and to lead the next evolution of the Chimera ants, and even in some ways humanity, what is a way he could still do that as dead?
Oh, like by his death causing...
By his death, still lead humanity and the Chimera ants onward.
Well, he could do that if if he had the whole thing where, like, he comes back and, like, he's dying, his body is literally falling apart, and he gets to see Komugi one last time, and Shia LaBeouf, of course, just goes crazy seeing him like this.
Maybe Yuppie. I've been thinking about Yuppie ever since, like, that big episode where he had... his point of letting them live and stuff. And I've really been thinking, like, what if Yuppie is the one to basically take an evolved purpose from Meruem, basically saying, you will not be king. You will
be the protector.
You'll be the protector of the species, but you will also give up any, like, desire to exterminate. Because
there's all kinds of ways he could do it, but basically, just giving some order that causes their directives to change. And, of course, Shia LaBeouf would probably not be okay with it.
No, I really want Shia LaBeouf to die. I think of all the Royal Guard, he's the one that needs to die the most. I think that, unfortunately, Neferpito probably will die. I think that there's a lot of opportunity for her to see the king, because she's currently with Komugi. But
that's true.
I don't know who she's going to, like she said, she needs to pass off Komugi to someone once the time's up. Yeah. And there's no one there, so...
Right.
You know what would actually be really cool? What? Melioron. What if Melioron went and basically realized that he could basically hide Komugi to keep her safe?
I thought you were going to say something completely different.
And what this could be is another cool bridge between Chimera ants that sided with the humans.
Sure.
And potentially the king coming back.
Sure.
I just love to see a conversation between the strongest Chimera and the weakest Chimera ant.
That would do a lot, because the king cares about Komugi so much, but since he's probably going to die, I don't know how much.
And Melioron also wanted the king to die.
That's true. Yeah. Here's one of the other things, though. Okay, What if Melioran just grabbed Neferpito? She's done healing Kamugi. He grabs Neferpito, and they just go.
But why would he join up with her?
Simply because he sees like Gon as you know, having gone down too dark a path or whatever, you know, who knows?
Oh,
right?
I don't like that. I mean,
yeah.
I see why you're thinking that, but it doesn't fit with his motivations.
Yeah, they would have to set up. They would have to basically set up the motivations for that to happen. Mm. But if they did end up doing that, then that would be sort of the ultimate basically backstab because he had trusted Gon with that information.
Maybe if Killua tells him to. Maybe
Sure.
if Killua comes in and basically says, I want you to go up behind Neferpito, and basically I'm going to distract Gon, and then you make her disappear.
Gon would never forgive Killua.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's going to happen. That's why I really don't think it's going to happen. I also think that if Melioran's going to do something like that, he has to resolve his own, you know, fear and courage issues before that.
Yeah.
And I also think he would only do that if there was no other choice.
Right.
And let's be real. Melioran is a relatively emotion-based character.
Yes.
He will only do things if it's something that is he can't just immediately die from. And let's be real.
Yeah.
If he touched, it's, you know how a cat, when it's tense and it's like its fur is expanded and stuff,
sure.
and it's like looking at something else, and you kind of walk up behind it and pet it to calm it down, it turns it behind, looks at you, and in that split second, it's realizing, oh, you're a friend, so I'm not going to attack you.
Right, I'm not going to kill you.
But if they did that with Neferpito, and Neferpito's like, I have no idea who this Chimera Ant is, boof, dead.
Well, and even more so, Gon knows about the secret, so he would realize what had happened.
But he couldn't
and then
find...
but he could just start wrecking shit.
Yes.
Like,
I totally agree.
And if they don't immediately get out of the way, then
Okay, but let's move on to a different theory.
Back to the actual
episode.
So, they spent a lot of time on the fight. They made it look gorgeous. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, like a lot of it was like a fair amount of it was talking, but
yes,
but they did a really good job of making it so that it was always Meruem basically actually starting the conversation,
right?
And Netero not really having any of it, which was fantastic because it's like, yes, he's on the mission to kill.
Yeah.
But that imagery really, like, okay, because the animation was really good, right?
Yeah.
All the jumping around and all that stuff, it was awesome, it was epic, it was wonderful. But I feel like the imagery was what really made it, because if they didn't have that, I don't feel like we would have been fully invested and convinced that this was the true fight. As opposed to just being something to buy time, whittle down Meruem, whatever, prep for Netero to do his super death blast.
Yeah, the way they handled the stages of the fight, from, the strategizing, the realization that he's trying to basically break the speed at which Netero brings everything back to the palms, pressed together pose, the lotus pose, or whatever.
That whole alchemy praying, thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's fantastic. Love it. When he takes off Netero's leg. It was done so quickly, and there was no, you didn't
see the action happen.
You just saw it gone.
Yep.
And you're like, oh,
that happened. That is.
And then basically the fight's going to be over soon.
Right.
And Netero didn't seem to care, and I'm really glad we didn't really catch on that he had some. It doesn't matter. Any of this, none of this actually matters with regards to the fight. I'm just trying to set it up so that I can pull off at least one zero hand. It's probably a final move.
It did seem like he was saying, I put all my net into this, and afterwards he looked pretty haggard. So I get the feeling he was that was his his condition was, after this, my net is gone forever, no matter what.
So that's a good point. Like, when he was hitting him with all the 100 type Bodhitsvata moves and stuff, Meruem concluded that all of these attacks were dummy hands, and basically saying that there was no real strength behind it. Like he said, it gave him no damage, so he had no fear about plunging in and constantly attacking to just eventually be fast enough. Once he took off Netero's arm, If he wanted to. Now, this is something that...
He could have just killed him right there?
Well, he could have just killed him right there, but he also could have left him. Now, this is something I think that is a little bit...
Okay.
little bit risky. But one of the things that Meruem, in his genius of deducing how to defeat Netero, he didn't realize that he was being emotionally manipulated by the knowledge of his name being withheld from him. Now, if he thought about it just a little bit, he would have realized that the name was also privy to Netero's subordinates. And he knows for a fact that those subordinates are back at the palace, fighting other people and stuff.
Although he has good reason to believe that by now they'd be dead.
That's potentially true.
His royal guard are pretty badass.
Yep, that's a very good point, and I think he is the kind of king that would trust his royal guard to do their jobs properly.
Yeah.
However, if he, I would say he is not, the king, Meruem, is not the kind of person who is so arrogant that he would let a tactical error slip by him. But I think he is emotional enough, he is human enough to be goaded into combat that he doesn't necessarily have to do. Right at the point where he took off the leg, I could see him being like, okay, yeah, you're tough, so I'm going to keep this going. But when he took off the arm and he realized that he can still do the, the praying thing, essentially.
Well, but as soon as he did that, he did the zero thing.
Yes, exactly. He did sit down, but if he wanted to, he could have left, because he realized that, or basically says, okay, give me my name, or I'm leaving. Because I'm going to go back to the palace, and if I find any of your subordinates there, I'm going to drag their barely lifeless bodies back here and make them tell me my name.
Yeah.
And I think
that's
this is
basically what he said. He sat down and then he basically said, I'm not going to repeat myself. What is my name?
Yes. It's something that in the tactical side of things, it would be not metagaming, in my opinion, since we're talking about tabletop RPG kind of things. It would not be metagaming, and I think it would be a very clever HunterxHunter subversion to have Meruem realize that by observing this man, this incredibly resolved man, that there's no way that I gain anything by attacking him any further. There's nothing I'm losing, there's nothing I'm gaining, but there's plenty to potentially be gained out there, and if he left, Netero would have panicked. I think he would have been like, wait, crap, I have to keep him here so that I can do the poor man's rose, but if I can't do the poor man's rose, I'm going to have to chase him back, and I don't have the physicality to chase him.
So what I see you saying, basically, correct me if I'm wrong, but that when Meruem took off Netero's arm, instead of going back into his, gone sitting pose and repeating, all right, what's my name? I've beaten you now.
He's showing so much respect and admiration for him that it's blinding him potentially. Keep going. Sorry, I interrupted, my bad.
At that point, are you saying he should not have done that? He should have basically given up ever learning his name from Netero and just left.
I think he should have, in his perception of the strategies, he spent so much time analyzing Netero's moves, and also, this is something I think is really cool here. He said that he was trying to study his biases. He was trying to study the patterns by which he tended towards. And this is something about personalities that is very, very interesting. They're full of contradictions. You can only really see people's tendencies. People will, under emotion, under the the physiological imbalances and stuff. People are not static creatures.
That's what machines are.
Yes, exactly. And neither of these beings, these individuals, are static robots.
Right.
Meruem has tons of human parts in him. And Netero, even though he is in a merciless killing mood,
is a human.
He is a very much human being. And I think that if Meruem wanted to basically reevaluate why they were fighting, because remember, Meruem didn't want to fight and stuff.
Well, yeah, but by that time he saw the fight as being over. He's killed the dragon, and now he gets to collect the horde.
I agree. It would have been a sign of disrespect to leave, and I think that's why he didn't do it. And that is a part of Meruem's characterization that I love, is that there's something about this that was not just a respect to her strength, because we see that in shonen all the time. We see villains, they're like, I compliment your strength.
Whose sword is bigger? Your sword is pretty big.
I see we both have
respect
big
that.
swords.
Yeah,
Yes. If we touch the tip... No, never mind. No, I'm just kidding. But...
If we hit them against each other long enough and do that dance...
We'll eventually become brothers, yes. No, so what I'm saying is that because he respected him, he let go of any potential tactical awareness that he was doing right there. Now, this is not to downplay Netero. Netero's abilities, his techniques are fast, they're powerful, they're really good. But I think that if he wasn't so admirable, so in such admiration of his opponent, he could, and this would be a very human thing, he could in some ways basically say, I'm done with you, and just leave. Now, what power does Netero have over him if he leaves? Nothing.
He could still just do his zero but hits thing. There's no reason that he wouldn't be able to do it as Meruem's turning around to go.
I agree, but that's a big potential if there was
Because I think, like, I like the idea of the whole thing of how much Meruem respected Netero, but I don't think that was the main thing that kept him there. The main thing is that he wanted his name, and at the point when he took off his arm, he had, in his mind, defeated his opponent, and now he's going to get the reward.
Right. You know? I think that's the point of this, the characterization, is that he's not going to get his name. He's not going to. I think the fact that he did get his name is something that was the tip-off that, okay, now I'm going to die.
Sure.
Also, just sensing the murderous intent behind.
Yeah, I mean, not like that wasn't there before, but yeah.
Oh, but it was especially there, and he said that the king felt fear in that moment.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. I'm just saying that there's an emotional scale that Meruem was out of balance on.
Yes,
and because of that, he did not approach this fight tactically as best as he could have.
Sure.
The leverage by which Netero giving his name was not enough, in my opinion, to basically give him his time. Now, this is something that I'm not necessarily saying that there were definite moments along the way, but I think that Meruem, in all of his ultimate evolution genius and his ability to analyze and disseminate information from very small bits of data, could have realized that the only way this guy is giving me my name is if he's like thinks it's not going to mean anything, and the only way that's going to be is if I'm going to die. But there's no way this guy can kill me, right? There's no way. But I think Meruem's not that stupid. He's not the one that would go, I'm obviously immortal, I can't die.
But he's like, I'm seeing what this guy's doing, and by a large margin, it can't hurt me.
But it did. It did. After the zero hand thing, there were, again, at the zero hand thing, he was hurt. He then showed him his respect again. This is the kind of thing where I'm just saying he respects him so much that he broke the tactical side of things in exchange for the emotional side of things, and I just think that's the character. That's the point. Is that when we look back at moments along Meruem's character development, is he has shown to be tactically and almost like perfectly ruthless, and we see that ruthlessness slowly going away for, I would say, just awareness and perception of the individuality and value of others.
And that's just good character writing, having your characters actually feel emotions and having that, guide what they do. Because, again, if they're just a static character, then they might as well be a robot.
And so my final bit on this is, why Meruem is this way?
Komugi.
And what did they say? What did the narrator say when Komugi was introduced?
Who would have...
She would have a profound influence or impact on the king's fate. His fate.
Yeah. Fate is usually what
Fate is usually like your end.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
your destiny, the thing, your purpose.
And whenever you use something that's so ultimate as that, it's the idea that either nothing after that exists or nothing after that matters.
Yes.
So...
Or you will have found that everything before that mattered so much more that basically, that everything after that is just nothing.
Exactly. It's either something that is,
you'll be complete,
Right. Usually it's, take your life as a whole from beginning to end.
Yes.
Your fate, right? Yes. And there you have it.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they brought that up, it's like, Meruem could be dead here. And the thing is that in any other show, if they were to do something like this, and we don't see a head on a spike in a bulletproof glass case, I would say that person's still alive.
Yeah.
Right? And Meruem very well maybe still alive, at least for a little bit, right? He could still end up dying from this, so he could still be alive. He could still walk back to Komugi and have the whole thing where he dies in her arms or whatever.
This is actually a very good point. Mm-hmm. I keep thinking about regeneration, but Komugi... No, sorry, did I say Komugi? Neferpito needed to heal the king for tearing off the arm.
That's true.
That was not something that the king just sells super regenerated
If you think about that, I don't think they've ever done regeneration in HunterxHunter. Not in the sense of the usual anime style regeneration. They've had people that heal faster than normal, but I don't think they've ever done actual regeneration, and that's really good to bring up because any freaking time that you have something like that, it's so there should be nothing. You just nullified
all the reasons for all that previous stuff to happen.
Well, also there should be no reason in which they will ever die. Because theoretically from that point, unless there's some point where this specifically has to be destroyed, and
it's a cheap trick basically to extend the fight for very poor story reasons.
Right.
But I like that in I would say more simple shonen like My Hero Academia, there's scars, there's lasting impacts and stuff in that. HunterxHunter has that as well with mental fatigue, emotional trauma.
The whole thing with Gon losing against Knuckle and not having Nen for a month.
Nen conditions, exactly. And then also just encountering even just something that's just beyond you. In some ways, how Gon encountering Hisoka's aura back in Heaven's Arena,
or encountering Neferpito, or
Nav encountering that, Palm encountering the aura and stuff. There's lasting changes that happen from the actions of others, and the story doesn't try to balk at that and hold back so that we can't deviate too much from the pre-planned plot. This is discovery-based storytelling, people, at its finest, and I kind of just I can't accept that the king is dead. I want more story with the king.
If he's not dead here, I want him to have one more episode of basically, or maybe two, of being around before he is dead.
Oh, what we could do is we could skip away.
Yep.
Let's leave it a mystery.
And that's why I said one more episode. I want him to be dead on the next episode.
Right. We could just go away to some other things, and everyone's just there was a red cloud that just shook the earth. What was that? Who knows? And maybe then that's what it is. Yuppie is then in transit trying to figure out what happens, and maybe when he does go there and he finds no one there, we still don't know if Meruem's dead or not, because Meruem could be, running
both
somewhere.
Of them both Yuppie and Shia LaBeouf would probably be very not wanting to believe that Meruem is dead.
Especially Shia LaBeouf. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So,
But guys, this was a HunterxHunter episode entirely focused on one fight and two characters.
And it happened. What happened here.
It happened. Yes.
I will say that because they did this, I really want Meruem to die soon. If they don't have him die because of this, or be permanently maimed because of this, or something like that. Okay. And of course, it'd be hard doing permanent maiming because Neferpito could theoretically fix him.
But that's the thing. Let's actually speculate on that.
Okay.
What if that's the twist?
Is that he survives?
Meruem survives and
the twist
it's forever
on the twist?
changed. Yeah, the twist on the twist.
Okay.
He reunites with Komugi.
They go live in a cottage somewhere.
They literally go and basically live under government supervision.
Okay.
He's basically become inert. Or something where he's
paralyzed from the neck down.
Yeah, he's lost so much of himself that he needs to actually be nursed back to health by regular humans, and it's something where basically how they find him and stuff.
Man.
My god, watch this.
Okay.
This is how they could do this. I don't think this is really going to happen. This is my if we go for the 0.00001% chance he survives.
Yep.
He survives protecting Komugi from potential more blasts and stuff, more stuff from humans, more bombs.
All right.
And then when this whole thing, clears away,
Yeah.
and we were sifting through the wreckage and stuff, you find a broken little girl, and she's holding on to the one person that cared about her and loved her, and she loves him, and they basically take them both away because they won't leave each other, and they're fine and stuff. And it's basically like Meruem's like a vegetable, like he's like like he's brain dead. He has like barely any ability to communicate. He knows who Komugi is. Like maybe he has enough sense of mind to go like, and he's just. And that would be the most like brilliant subversion, because it wouldn't be just that he went through so much physical trauma that he's changed. It's like, no, this is actually a natural progression of where he would be if nothing else in the world mattered to him. If he forsook everything else, it would be just Komugi.
Sure.
And in some ways, that's what got him. That was what gave him satisfaction, was just playing Gungi with her.
So,
and maybe she then gets to teach him Gungi as the way to bring him back to himself.
Sure. Well, and also like if they did something where like say like maybe not necessarily a vegetable, but like he's to the point where he's like bedridden forever. Then,
right, they can't regenerate like a broken spine and
exactly.
no limbs and
Well, but if he had no limbs, he could still like I have this picture in my mind of basically he cannot move, he can't do anything, so he's not a threat anymore.
No,
but he still has a mouth, and basically he just tells her what his moves are, and they just play Gungi in a cottage.
It's way too happy.
It's way too happy.
It's way
so
too
not
happy
going to
for this dark arc. So I'm just saying like if that happened, I would like bow at the feet of Hunter x Hunter for like doing something I could never have like actually believed in happening.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because the there are great stories. Yeah. And then there are the stories where every time you're like, okay, wouldn't it be awesome if this happened? Yeah. They do it. And sometimes they do that when you don't even realize that you were wanting that, right?
Yes. But I think Hunter x Hunter is pretty good at that. They sometimes give us a lot of things that we don't necessarily want.
Right. We know that, I feel like Hunter x Hunter is like you said, really good at doing the things where we don't they do the things that we don't expect, but we want after we see it happen. Right.
We're like, we never knew that we wanted this so
exactly.
much.
But the next level, or the other side of the coin, would be to have something where it's like, okay, this might be too much, but wouldn't it be so awesome if this happened? And they can just know exactly where their audience is at that moment in the progression through the story, and then they're just like, boom, they play that final piece.
It's not going to happen. Yeah. The thing about this story is that you can see that at the very least, Gone is kind of the next piece that needs to be pushed over the edge, so to speak. And
other than Shia LaBeouf.
I feel like in terms of finishing character arcs, though, there's something about how Meruem's arc was cut so short. Like if this kills him, that I almost feel like Tagashi wouldn't let that happen. Like he's like, I want to have a little bit of a bow-tied, kind of wrapped up nice and pretty arc for the king. Because like the other Chimera ants, they have arcs. Like crazy enough, but they actually have arcs, which is something shonen like struggle to even come close to
for
doing
their main characters,
for their side villains, basically.
Right. Yeah, they're doing Hunter just doing this for the side villains, and most shonen don't even do that for any of their characters really, but for the main characters where it's most important.
Right. Yeah. And well, let's just say Gon's arc still has some time to go. Like we have some things that are probably going to be coming.
Absolutely.
And when those are happening, and when those like capitulate with some big moments with like Killua and Gon, like especially Killua and Gon. I want the king's story. I want the king's story to not be over at that time, because there's too much mirroring the Killua, Gon, Komugi, Meruem stuff there.
They could do it though. Like
there's so many things.
Well, but like okay. So this was 126.
126. Yeah.
There's 22 episodes left in the show. With the king potentially dead now, or at least probably not lasting that long after this, they could wrap the Chimera Ant arc up before the end of the show.
Yeah, but
from
the
the
thing is,
standpoint of
there's so much.
No, yeah, absolutely.
There's so much.
But
I
feel like the main thing of that is not really the Chimera ants themselves, but rather Gon and Killua.
I agree, and
there's
I don't
a lot
agree.
for the Chimera ants, but
I feel like we still haven't seen, in a lot of ways, with some of the smaller Chimera ants.
Oh, like Colt and the
No. I'm not talking about people not here. I'm talking about the smaller Chimera ants in terms of presence and influence.
Okay.
Like Welfin, Ikalgo, Melioron. I feel like they have a lot of big things that they're still going to be doing. And then in some ways, actually, I kind of lump Yuppie into that set because he's completely different now. Like, he's gone and turned over a new leaf. And I feel like there's so much there that we might be close in terms of just the length of HunterxHunter. But I think we still got a decent ways to go.
Oh, yeah. I just don't... I think the reason that I think we might end up having Melioron's whole story be resolved in whatever way it is resolved without resolving completely the Gon and Killua story is because I feel like they could, if they wanted to, they could have, 5 or 6 episodes potentially after the Chimera Ant arc.
Recovery
and basically
therapy.
Exactly. All that stuff. That there will be some really good focus on Killua and Gon.
I
very
agree.
much needed stuff that...
I agree. But I would consider that technically part of the
Chimera Ant arc.
Yeah, because it's relating to events that happened in there. Maybe it'll be kind of like an intermission of sorts.
Yeah, that's basically
so
how
maybe
I
it
see
would technically not be that.
But
that still leaves, if that would be like, what, 132? We've still got then like... Wait, no, that would be 100 and... How many episodes are in HunterxHunter?
148.
148?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that would be like 142 then.
Uh-huh.
We still have 16 episodes.
Exactly. Yeah. So
that's a lot.
That's a lot. So
that's a lot.
That's why I that's why the more we watch with how quickly this episode wrapped up, the fact that they basically did the whole fight between Netero and Meruem in one episode because there was the stuff before, but that wasn't really fighting.
It was that was
posturing. That was
posturing.
That was setting the stakes and all that stuff so that they could execute all in this 122-minute battle. Of awesome. So, because the thing is, I don't want Gon and Killua to be having these good talks and resolutions and stuff that they need to be having while there's still all the Chimera Ant threat stuff happening. Like I see the whole thing. There will be some like if Killua confronts Gon while like Neferpito's still alive and that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
But that will put them onto speaking terms. That will not give them resolution and wholeness to their friendship.
What might be the sad thing is that there won't be a lot of resolution quickly. We might need a little bit of a time skip.
Yeah. Well, and the whole idea of like what you were saying of the scars and permanent effects and all that stuff. One of the ways they could do that, not physically, but is by doing it with the relationship between Gon and Killua, by basically saying that while they basically, and it doesn't have to be a strictly negative thing, but the idea is that they certainly shouldn't ever forget about something like this, right?
Right.
If they did that, that's the kind of thing that a crappy shonen would do, where they'd have a filler arc where there's good stuff, but then of course once you get back onto the canon timeline, it doesn't exist, right?
Right.
So, and that's the kind of stuff that that's
it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
I'm kind of shook by the episode.
Yeah. Almost like the very foundations of it's blasted away.
Yeah. I really think that this was meant to mean something beyond just the finality of Netero's death.
Yes, absolutely.
This means something in the themes.
Right, the themes, not just the plot.
Not just the plot. Yeah. It's something that has me worried for some other character arcs. Because it ends essentially with Netero taking his life. Basically,
I don't think Gon's going to commit suicide.
No, I don't think he is either, but I'm worried about Gon basically going way too far.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's younger.
He's not experienced and wise like Netero. Like, Netero can do it and have it be a calculated thing.
He's focused right now. I think that's probably the only good thing that's going on right now, is that I loved that when we brought back Shia LaBeouf and Knuckle into that room with Neferpito and Gon and Kamugi, you saw how focused and honed Gon's senses were. He was very much hyper aware of everything going on in this room because everything going on in this room was important. But because of that, I don't think anything going on outside the room or inside Gon is important. And that's the kind of thing where I'm worried about how things like this, where people are willing to tap into basically their darkness
sides,
for the purpose of basically having the ability to do what needs to be done, which I won't argue this needed to be done because the future of humanity depended on it.
Right.
It's a really weird place to be in, where you're giving so much character arcs to the antagonist, whereas the protagonist basically comes in like a weapon. Like the way Netero was given no real characterization in the build-up to the invasion, as he's just sitting out there just building up his Ren. And it's like, or using Ren to build up his Nen. But just that basically turned him into a living weapon. And then once he expunged himself as a weapon, or he used himself as a weapon,
he blew his load.
there was nothing else there. There was the raw will of humanity, the struggle to basically say that, we will do whatever it takes. And he represented that very well. But the way they chose to showcase it was pure terror, was terrifying imagery, the skull, death. I saw multiple emotions in there. And these resonate with Gon in some ways as well. Hatred, spite, and vengeance. And vengeance is not an emotion. Vengeance is not an emotion, but I'm talking about the part that makes people, like, when people are committing the act of vengeance, there's some kind of emotion that I can't really quantify. And maybe you can...
It's possible to be vengeful.
Vengeful, thank you.
I would say that is an emotion.
Okay, cool. Those are all things that Gon is probably going to be letting loose, like, fully, when it's time to...
And by the way,
to kill.
That whole imagery that they did with Netero, like, I mean, you noticed in the reaction, but that was so good. We thought it was actually some sort of other being. Like, or I don't know, maybe you didn't, but I did. You know, I was like, well,
he did say we are not alone, and that was really chilling. That was like, I basically took it way too literally, and I was like, oh, this has all been a trap. I'm like, are we about to get Joseph Joestar'd here? And I
the
think
entire
you were like,
Zoldyck family just...
I think I could almost feel the portion of you being like, Caleb, shut up. Something big's about to happen. Just wait, because there's going to be something crazy here.
Well, the idea of saying we are not alone. Within the context,
I have the human race with me. Like, you can't fight us all.
Sure. Yeah, and that's probably what he was actually meaning.
Right.
But from the context of what was happening.
Yes.
This is humanity versus the Chimera ants.
Yeah.
One of the big questions in humanity's existence has been, are we alone?
Oh.
That can mean many different things. A lot of times it's talked about like aliens, like is there other life out there, represented by the Chimera ants. Right. You can also go into one of the realms of like, is there a god and all that stuff.
Yeah, is there some kind of higher power?
Exactly. Yeah. And when Netero said, we are not alone, it's like,
yeah, I'm going to tap into God's judgment, basically, and exact that upon you. I will be the vessel, the avatar, if you will, of that. In some ways, I really love how they drew the connections to, I would say, Buddhism.
Yeah, I think they called it the zero bodhisattva. They called
the bodhisattva. That's something that's connected to Buddhism, but I'm not going to pretend like I know anything really about Buddhism to know why that imagery is a certain way. But I think there was something there in the fact that the Buddha is essentially an avatar of something more, of something greater. And basically, in this case, Netero was an avatar for the will of humanity that you must die. And he put that inside of him. He was in some ways a vessel of that part of humanity. And he willingly bore that so that humanity would survive and win. And I gotta give props to Netero as being a character that was rapidly characterized, toward the end of his life, basically, in the end of his story. He had very little screen time prior to this. He was kind of a goofy geezer. We now see the other side of him, and the fact that he followed through with all of this, and the story was willing to let him follow through with all this. So Togashi designed this so brilliantly, culminates in this episode, is magnificent.
Yes, it really is. Yeah. And like when I almost wish you hadn't even brought up his old self, because like just remembering the pervy old man, it's like,
or even just the goober that he's trying to say, like, you can't even land a hit on me, Gon and Killua. And Killua's just like, yeah, well, I can't, so I'm leaving.
Right. Like
Gon's like, no, I'm gonna stay.
Right, like all of that basically, that version of Netero, like he even was drawn very differently. I'm not talking about his bulging muscles in the t-shirt.
I'm talking about the face,
like the face,
the hair.
like the face looked like thinner and like just unassuming and all that stuff.
He
which
was
is
swollen with Nen, essentially.
Oh yeah,
basically enhanced his body to be capable of even doing all. This.
When you're on an extermination mission, you use performance enhancers. But
crazy.
But that was like, this whole episode was just awesome. Like,
I would say is awe-inspiring. There was like I said in the reaction, there was a regal element to it where you felt like you were watching kings do battle.
Right. Yeah.
Not necessarily gods, but avatars, basically representatives of a people, a belief, an idea.
Yep.
And that's
the
just
champions of their peoples.
It's just
stuff.
Presentation and music, all of it over the top, fantastic.
Excellent.
I would say that the merits of this episode are not actually all contained within the episode. So that's why I think the episode itself is very good, but it is not like the best episode in Hunter x Hunter.
Sure, it's more of like one of the most meaningful episodes.
It's one of the most meaningful episodes. It's a milestone that's connected to so much other story.
Yeah.
So I would love to kind of throw this out there, because I feel like this is probably a lot of other people's like favorite episode.
Yeah.
But no, like episodes like that one with Gon.
116?
The episode with like Yuppie's characterization and stuff. I really respect like the episodes that manage to write a near perfect mini story within the overall narrative, bringing character arcs and all this all together, whereas this one basically just said, this episode was an avatar of this story.
Right, yeah, it's basically saying like, all right, you've been wondering how this show's going to end, and Hunter x Hunter probably still has some surprises in store for us.
Yeah, for sure.
But this was basically where they
blew their load.
Showed their I was gonna say
you're gonna say something else.
Showed their hand.
All
of their hands.
Well said. Oh my gosh, guys, this episode exhausted me. It got me excited. It got me hyped. It got me
like all your
feeling
nen
philosophical.
Drained away.
Yeah, my nen is drained away. I feel like Netero. I'm not gonna blow up or anything, but like I gotta give props to this. This show. This is fantastic stuff.
Really good.
And I now know even more so how hard it is to recommend Hunter x Hunter to people.
Right.
Because you want them
just
to...
wait for episode 126.
Right. You want them to have the value of this episode imparted to them, but they can't just start with the Chimera Ant arc.
Right.
You can't.
And
alone is necessary to understand.
Yeah. And even if they did start with just the Chimera Ant arc, that wouldn't be enough for some people, because it took a long time to get to this point.
Yep. So it's crazy. But guys, if you want to watch the next 2 episodes of Hunter x Hunter's for our reaction to those right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon.
Yes.
You can get on early access there. Any kind of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about stories, non-spoilery Hunter x Hunter stuff. We're gonna be having Discord events really soon, and you can participate with those in there. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.